Good morning, class 8. So, today I'm gonna start your chapter number 5, which is coal and petroleum. So, this chapter is about actually the resources, the natural resources which are present in the nature. And these natural resources are basically the things which are present in the nature and can be helpful for the mankind, and or you can say these are beneficial for the mankind. So these natural resources can be basically these can be classified into two groups, that is inexhaustible natural resources and exhaustible natural resources. Inexhaustible natural resources are the resources or the things which are present in which are present in a unlimited quantity, or you can say these are present in a huge quantity. Once means these are not going to deplete completely. So these kind of natural resources are known as inexhaustible natural resources. Example of such resources are like soil is there, water is there, air is there. These are the inexhaustible natural resources which are abundant in the quantity. Other than that, exhaustible natural resources are present. These are the natural resources which are present in the lesser quantity, or you can say these have been formed in a by taking millions of years. So these are, because these are being used regularly, so these are going to deplete at one time. So these resources means in near future these are going to end completely. So such kind of natural resources which are to be preserved or conserved, these kinds of resources are known as exhaustible natural resources. Example of such resources are like coal and petroleum and the minerals which are present in the earth surface or the crust. So if I'm talking about the coal and petroleum, then these are actually the fuels. And if I'm talking that these are fuels, what is the meaning of fuel are basically the substances or the materials which release the energy when these are burnt, or when these are burnt in the presence of oxygen. Due to the combustion, they release heat energy and the light energy. Such kind of the substances are known as fuels. If fuels basically where these are used for the domestic use, like LPG is used for the transport, like petrol, diesel. For industries also, diesel and these things are used. For generating the energy also, some natural gases are used. Rocket fuel, hydrogen gases are kind of a rocket fuel. So basically fuel are the substances which produce the energy when these are burnt, or these are burnt in the presence of oxygen. Classification of the fuels can be classified basically into three groups depending upon what state they are having. So if they are in the solid form, these are known as solid fuels. So example of such fuels are like coal and wood. Liquid fuels are the fuels which are in the liquid state, for example petrol, diesel, kerosene. And gaseous fuels are the fuels which are in the form of gases, like natural gas, LPG, this hydrogen gas. These are the gaseous fuels. Now comes the characteristics of the fuel. Characteristics of the fuel is basically what are the properties of a good fuel. If you are taking any good fuel, what are the properties of good fuels? So fuels are having the fuel which is having a high calorific value. Calorific value, if I'm saying it is calorific value, what is the meaning of calorific value? Means when you are burning 1 kg of a fuel, how much kilojoule of energy, the kilojoule is the unit for the energy, how much kilojoule of energy is produced by burning 1 kg of fuel, that is known as the calorific value of that fuel. So the fuels which are having high calorific value are known as good fuels, and these should not produce harmful smokes. These should not cause air pollution. These should be cheap and these should be available also. These fuel should be stored in a proper way, means these should not be so much combustible that they are not able to we are not able to store them in a proper way. So basically these are the qualities of a good fuel. Other than that, one more quality is there, which is known as kindling temperature. Kindling temperature, which is also known as ignition temperature. So ignition temperature is basically the temperature, the minimum temperature at which any substance starts to burning. Like if any substance is in the room temperature, like if you say the phosphorus, this we have studied in the acid, that metals and non-metals chapter. These are the fuels which burn with, means when they are present in the air they start burning. So such kind of the substances are having very low ignition temperature or the kindling temperature. So fuel which is good, which is going to burn quickly without giving extra heat, so they should have a low ignition temperature also. Now comes the fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are the fuels basically which are formed by the decomposition of the plants and animals. Like plants and animals, when these die, these get buried in the earth, and after millions of the years they turn into some kind of substances which can burn. Such kind of fuels are known as fossil fuels. So fossil fuels, if these I'm gonna discuss with you some of the fossil fuels, like coal. Coal is a kind of black colored fossil fuel which is formed by the method of carbonization. A carbonization is basically a kind of method in which the plants or the forest, sometimes due to the volcanic activity or due to earthquake or due to the some disturbance or due to a heavy rainfall, many forests get destroyed completely, and those trees get buried inside the earth, and layers of the mud and soil get deposited on them, and due to extra heat, extra pressure and very high temperature, slowly these substances get converted into a blackish substance, or you can say these get converted into a carbon form, or means some carbon is deposited on or they are converted into some carbonated substances. This process is known as carbonization, which turns actually these plants into the carbon or the coal. So these coal, if I say what about the occurrence, so coal is basically present in the Russia, China and USA, UK, in these places. In India, these are present in the West Bengal, Odisha, Jharkhand and Madhya Pradesh. And largest of the coal producer is the Jharia of Jharkhand, and Rani Ganj of the West Bengal, where coal deposits are found in a huge quantity. Now comes the coal types of the coal. Coal is basically present of in these are in three forms, or basically these are on four types: anthracite, bituminous, lignite and peat. So why these are classified? Basically these are classified depending upon the layer in which these are present. Anthracite is the coal which is found in the lowermost layer of the earth, means when the process of carbonization is going on, so this is the first layer which is going to be formed. Then after, on above that layer there is bituminous, and above the bituminous it is lignite, and above the lignite it is peat. So in this manner, layer by layer these are formed. So anthracite is basically the lowermost layer, because here the temperature and pressure and the heat is more in comparison to the other layers. So this kind of coal which is formed, which is anthracite, it is the oldest form of the coal, and it is having the highest amount of the carbon. It is very solid, and it has around 94 to 98% of the carbon is present in the anthracite. If I am talking about bituminous is having a lesser heat and temperature, so it is little it has a shiny surface, and it has lesser carbon, like 60 to 80% only. If I am talking about lignite again, because it is in more it is a more recent one, so it is having much lesser carbon content, which is 30 to 40% only. And then comes the uppermost, that is the peat. On the peat, because it is the newest form of the carbon, newest form of the coal, so it is having very less amount of carbon, which is around only 20%. So these are different types of the coal. Now let us discuss what are the uses of the coal. Coal is basically used Coal is basically used as a fuel, and it is also used in producing coal gas and electricity, in oil manufacturing. It is also used in producing the organic compounds, and it is used in the extraction of the metals, like metals when these are dug out from the layers of the earth, then they are having some impurities which can be purified by using the coal. So these are the uses of the coal. Now comes the products of the coal. Basically, when the coal is given a high temperature, or it is heated in absence of the air, around 1000 degree temperature is given, that kind of the process is known as destructive distillation. In destructive distillation, basically any substance is heated to about 1000 degrees Celsius without air or the without the air or oxygen. So due to the absence of the oxygen, these substances are converted into different substances. Like coal gets converted into the coal tar, and coal gas. These are the products of the coal. Coke is basically a kind of product which is having huge amount of carbon. Around 98% of the carbon is present in the coke. It is very tough, but it is having some pores. It is because it is having huge amount of carbon, so it is blackish in color. And it is basically found it is formed due to because it is having high carbon, so it is used as a fuel. It is a very good fuel, and this is the only substance which is used in the extraction of the metals, as well as in the manufacturing of the steel is basically formed by the iron and carbon compounds, or the coke compounds. Then comes the coal tar. Coal tar is basically a kind of a liquid substance which is formed by the destructive distillation of the coal. It is having a little less amount of the carbon, but if we use if we further distill means the distillation process is carried out further, then it changes into some more substances like benzene, toluene, phenol, naphthalene is a substance or all these substances are used in manufacturing of the explosive plastics. The naphthalene balls are basically used in killing the insect or the moths which attack the cloth. So this is coal tar. Then comes coal gas. Coal gas is, again, it is a kind of a gas which is formed by destructive distillation of the coal. It is a mixture of two gases. More basically two gases are present, that is methane and hydrogen. These gases combine to form coal gas. Little bit amount of carbon monoxide is also produced. It is used in the industries where coal is processed. So coal gas is also used in the lamps, street lamps. Now comes the petroleum. How petroleum is formed? Petroleum is a kind of a liquid fuel which is formed due to the decomposition of the aquatic animals, the animals or the plants which live nearby the ocean or inside the ocean. Once these die, their dead bodies are dumped in the bottom of the sea or ocean, and the sand gets, these are covered by the sand, and many layers are formed above that. And due to the formation of so many layers, it is again the same process. Extra heat is being produced, extra temperature they get, and extra pressure they get, and due to that reason, and the presence of some bacteria, that substance, their dead bodies gets converted into the liquid substance which is known as petroleum, which is a dark blackish colored fuel. So how it is actually means how it is taken out from that. So you can see here in this diagram, let me show you in that one. So this diagram, if you see, so this is basically found in between the rock layers. These are the rock layers, and between that some water is also present, and on the this is the layer of the concrete structures, and between that water and this petrol, because petrol is its density is lesser than water, so it actually forms a layer above the water. And if we get a drilling machine or a kind of a pipeline like this, so due to the high pressure which is exerted by the water, it comes out of the this drilling pipe, and it can be collected in the tanks. So this process basically is known as mining. The oil which is drilled from the these layers, it is actually crude oil, which is basically a kind of a mixture of many substance. Then it is not a pure form, it is having so many impurities. Once it is purified, then it produces many products. So that process is known as refining of petroleum. Refining of petroleum is done by fractional distillation. This is a kind of a chamber of, let me enlarge it. Okay, so this is the structure of a fractional distillation chamber, in which basically the property of petroleum is, when it is burnt, it has different boiling points. So depending upon different boiling points, these substances are formed, like refinery gas, which is known as natural gas, gasoline, naphtha, kerosene, diesel, oil gas, residue. So these substances, when crude oil is passed from it and it is heated, it gets collected into different chambers of the this fractional distillating chamber, and uh, in this manner different products of the petroleum are formed. So these petroleum products are basically, these are used in so many industries, and it is very expensive also. That is why petroleum is also known as black gold. So these are the different substances which are formed, and their uses are given here. If you have any confusion, you can ask in the class. Now comes the natural gas. Natural gas is a kind of gaseous fuel which is formed in between the deposits of the petroleum, where petroleum is present. Now, because again the same thing, because the density of the gases is lesser than the liquids, that is oil or the petroleum oil. That is why this natural gas actually floats above that, and if we are drilling that, then we get a kind of, when we are mining, during the process of mining of the petroleum, first of all a gas is released. That gas is known as natural gas. It is basically the mixture of methane and ethane. These are two carbon compounds which are formed, and these two compounds mix together to form natural gas. This natural gas somehow it is compressed, and then it is used in your in your vehicles, like it is known as CNG, which is compressed natural gas. It is also used in your cylinders like LPG. So if I'm gonna tell you where these natural gases are present, so Vadodara is in Gujarat, is a place where natural gas is found in a huge quantity. Other than that, Tripura, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Krishna, Godavari Delta, these are some places where natural gases, deposits of natural gases are present. So uses of natural gas as a domestic fuel, industrial fuel, in producing the energy in thermal power station also. These are used for producing the electricity or the energy, and in the transportation vehicle, as I told, the CNG is used in the vehicles, and in it is a source of hydrogen gas. When but fertilizers are manufactured, then hydrogen gas is actually used, so there also this natural gas is used. Limitation of natural resources. Now, as I told, that natural resources are of two types. These are can be exhaustible and inexhaustible also. So the ones which are going to exhaust means the kind of the natural resources which are lesser in quantity. So these resources are going to deplete, or these are going to end completely on in near future. So due to this reason, there is a need of conserving these natural resources. So these natural resources should be used in a judicious way, and these should be conserved, so that in our future generation also we can use these natural resources. And these resources are actually also harmful for our environment also, because when these natural resources like the fuels, coal, petroleum, when these are burnt, these release toxic gases like sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. So these oxides are not very good for the environment and these cause harm to our environment also. That is also a reason that we must use the natural resources in a limited quantity. So what can be done, that first of all we must use the vehicles as less as possible, because whenever we are using vehicles, these are releasing smoke that is causing air pollution. And we must not we should means, if it is possible, we must use bicycle, or we can walk. Or if there is no need of like if you are standing on a signal, then you must switch off your vehicle. And and uh, like vehicles should be in a they should be maintained always. These should be serviced always, and their the kind of fuel which you're using, like petrol which you are using, it should be lead free. Because if it is having lead, then it will release sulfur dioxide in more, or nitrogen dioxide in a more quantity, and it will harm your environment. So these are the reasons that these are the ways by which we can conserve our natural resources like coal and petroleum. And rest of the chapter, I think it is yeah, it is completed. So if you have any query, you can ask in the class. Homework I'll give. Thank you, class.